Hello student, this is Professor Daknesar. Welcome you all in our online lecture series of system programming and the operating system. As all of you know, we are discussing about the unit number 3, and in that phases of compiler we are discussing. And in the phases of compiler, this is the last lecture, and two more lecture will be required to finish the unit number 3. So today we will finish about the phases of compiler. Now in the phases of compiler, today we will discuss about the sixth phase of compiler, that is the last phase of compiler, that is the code generation. Before this, already whatever the phases of compiler are there, like lexical analysis, syntax analysis, semantic analysis, intermediate code generation, code optimization, all these phases we have studied, and now we are at the last phase of compiler. This phase we are not going to discuss because already we have discussed regarding this as a code optimization. Okay, this is not so mandatory and the important, so we'll discuss about the code generation as the last phase of compiler. Now, as all of you know, the compilation process is nothing but consist of the various phases, and each phase take the input from the previous stage and produce some output and give that output to the next phase of compiler. Likewise, first phase as a lexical analysis take the input in the form of higher level language, it generate the tokens as output, then it give that token as output, then it give that token as a input to the next phase of compiler, that's the syntax analyzer, where it check the whether expression is syntactically correct or not by generating the parse tree. Then syntax analyzer give the parse tree as an input to the semantic analyzer. Semantic analyzer check the meaning of the statement, whether it's correct or not, whether statement is meaningful or not, by generating the annotated parse tree. And then syntax analyzer give that as an input to the intermediate code generator. And intermediate code generate the code in the form of 3 address code that also last time we have seen. Then next phase, that is the code optimization. Code optimization take the input from the previous phase and input in the form of the 3 address code, and that input which is being received by the code optimizer try to make the changes in that code if it is possible, try to do the rearrangement of the code so that efficiency of the compiler can be improved, the program can be executed faster and within a less space. And then code optimizer give that particular whatever the output generated in the form of the 3 address code it to the next phase of compiler, that is the code generator. Okay, and so today we are going to discuss about the code generator, that's the last phase of compiler. So this diagram we are all very much familiar from first lecture of this unit number 3. We are discussing about this figure, and in that different phases we are discussing. So we have reached to the this point now. Today we have to discuss the code generator phase. Now, in the last time we have seen the how the code optimizer does the code optimization and generate the particular optimized code. So this output of the code optimizer is also the 3 address code, but with the optimized code. Okay, by doing some changes in the previous intermediate code, code optimizer generate the optimized 3 address code, and then it that optimize intermediate code as a 3 address code is given as an input to the last phase of compiler, that is the code generator. Okay, and here you can see what is the work of the code generator. So work of the code generator is nothing but, here you can see code generator generate the target code or the machine code. Okay, code generator does what? Generate the target code or the machine code. Understood? By doing the processing on the input it has received from the previous phase of compiler. Okay, now, so what exactly is the work of the last phase of compiler? That is nothing but the generation of target code. Here I have mentioned generation of target program or the machine code or the target code. Understood? So it as a final phase of compiler, it has to generate the code in the form of the machine code format. Okay, so here also I have mentioned the same thing. Code generation is the final phase of compiler, it get the input from code optimization phase and produce the target code or the object code as a result. So it take the input from the this code optimization phase as a optimized code and try to produce the target code or the object code or the machine code as a final result. Okay. So intermediate instruction or the intermediate code is translated into the sequence of machine instruction. Okay, whatever the intermediate code is there that is in the form of the optimized form, that will be get converted into the machine instruction format. Now, which are the different activities that involve and that activity has to be performed by the code generator in the code generation phase? These are nothing but the different kind of activity like allocation of registers and the memory, generation of correct code references, generation of correct data types, and generation of missing code. Okay, so these are the different activity that has to be done by the code generation phase. Okay, now next important question which is being most of the time asked in the exam related with the code generation phase is nothing but the different issues in the code generation. Okay, what different issues in the code generation? So different issues in the code generation in the sense what kind of the requirement from the code generator means what kind of code that has to be generated by the code generator phase, the expectation from the code generator or the requirement from the particular code generation phase, what kind of code that has to be generated by the code generator, what kind of input it required, how it utilize the register memory, how what will be the order of evaluation of different instruction. So that different things comes under the issues in the code generation. Okay, so issue meaning of the issues you have to keep in mind the particular what kind of things needed to be provided to the code generation phase and what kind of code the code generator must generate, how the code generator do the memory allocation, that everything comes under the issues in the code generator. Okay, now as you know, these are the different phases already we have discussed. This is a part of our compiler. So whenever the system programmer is designing the compiler, he has to think about each phase and accordingly, the system programmer has to design the each phase of the compiler. Understood? So same thing is during the last phase of compiler. Okay. So when the system programmer is designing the last phase of compiler, that is the target code generation. So that time, which things he should keep in mind? Okay, which things he should keep in mind? That things comes under the that thing comes in the category of different issues in the code generation. Okay, so whenever the system programmer designing this last phase of compiler, that is the target code generator generation or the code generator phase, so that the designer of the that particular compiler must take into account the different kind of requirements. Understood? Different kind of issues he must take care while designing the last phase of compiler. So that things comes under the issues in the code generation phase. Okay, so all these things we can see these phases comes under the category of front end. So front end is considered to be the machine independent. Okay, and these last two phases comes under the category of the backend. And so we are discussing the last phase of compiler in the backend today. Okay, and backend is considered to be the machine dependent. Okay, so code generator converts the intermediate representation of source code into the form that can be executed by the machine. So code generator has to be convert the code in the form so that it can be easily executed by the computer machine. Okay, and computer machine can execute the code only if it is in the form of the machine language format. Okay, so a code generator is expected to generate the correct machine code. Okay, designing of code generator should be done in the such a way that it can be easily implemented and the tested and the maintained. Okay, so while designing of the code generator phase, the system programmer who is designing the last phase of compiler, so he has to think about the different requirement, he has to think about the different issues, he has to think about the different expectation related with that final phase of compiler, and that things we are going to discuss here in the point that is the issues in the code generation. Okay, so in that we have the first issue in the code generation phase, that is the input to the code generator. What first issue is what? Input to the code generator. Okay. Now here input to the code generator is nothing but it is going to be the intermediate code. Okay, optimize intermediate code. Okay, what will be the input to the code generator? Optimize intermediate code. Okay, so it will receive that optimize intermediate code. Okay, intermediate code is a consider here. You can consider the intermediate code is also the part of the front end of the compiler. Okay, so intermediate code is generated by the front end of the compiler, then it is optimized in the code optimization phase. Okay, so here I have mentioned the input to the code generator is the intermediate code generated by the front end along with the information in the symbol table. Okay, so intermediate code, you know, the intermediate code can be, you can consider the intermediate code can be in the any form. It can be in the quadruple form, triple form, indirect triple form. It can be in the form of the syntax tree, tag, etc. But as we have discussed, most commonly the intermediate code is always used to be in the form of the these three forms, which is the representation of our three address code. So it is used to be in the form of the tag. It is used to be in the form of the three address code. Okay, so whenever the code reaches to the this particular last phase of compiler, then last phase of compiler consider that that code is a completely error free. There is a no semantic errors, there is a no syntactic errors, there is a no lexical errors, etc, etc. Okay, so that thing I have mentioned here, the code generation phase just proceed on the assumption that input are free from all syntactic, semantic errors. Necessary type checking has been takes place. The type conversion operators have been inserted whenever necessary, etc, etc. Okay, so meaning of this paragraph is what? Whenever the final phase of compiler, that is the target code generator phase, receive the input from its previous phases, the target code generator consider or assume that that code is without any kind of error. There is a no syntactic error, semantic error. There is a no issue related with the type checking, etc, etc. So in short, the code that has to be given to the target code generator phase, it should be the error free code. So that is being assumed by the last phase of compiler, that whatever the code it is receiving, it is free of all different kind of errors. So that is the first issues requirement, first issue or the requirement in case of the code generator phase. Okay, uh, that is what input to the code generator. What kind of input should be given to the code generator phase? That is the first issue in the code generation. So what kind of input should be given? Input should be in the form of the some intermediate code. It should be without any kind of error. It should not, there should not be any syntactic errors, semantic errors, etc, etc. So that is the first issue in the code generation, that is the input to the code generator. Okay, the next important issue in the code generation phase is memory management. That is what? Memory management. Okay, so during the memory management, the code generator phase has to take the help of symbol table. That, as you can see in this diagram, every phase has to refer the symbol table. The same in the similar way, you can see the code generator phase also referring the symbol table. Okay, so why it is required to refer to the symbol table while doing the memory allocation or while doing the memory management? Because code generator phase has to also code generator phase also need to do the memory allocation for the different symbol present in that particular program, etc. Okay, now, how the memory allocation can be done? In order to do the memory allocation, the code generator phase must know the what is the data type of different symbols, what is the size of the memory that will be required, etc., etc. So that everything is done in the this target code generation phase, that is the memory management. And for that purpose, during the code generation process, the symbol table entries have to be mapped to the actual addresses and levels have to map to the instruction addresses. Means what? Using the symbol table, the target code generation phase has to do the memory management so that each different symbol which is present in the program, the memory for that can be allotted. Okay, and how it can be done? It can be done by mapping the mapping the symbol present in the symbol table with their actual addresses. Okay, so mapping the name in the source program to the addresses of data is cooperatively done by the front end, and the code generator. Okay. So here the code generation phase has to take the help of the front end of the compiler to do the memory management, because the whatever information regarding the memory requirement for different symbol for different function, that information is available to the front end of the compiler, and that is the reason there should be a cooperative work need to be done by the code generation phase and the front end of the compiler. Okay, and accordingly to the different variables symbols present in the program, the memories get allocated. For example, here I have mentioned, if there are some local variables are present in your program, the stack allocation is done for that. Okay, if there are some global variables are there, then static area memory is allocated for that global variables. So accordingly, depends on the type of the variables are available, depends on the type of the function you are utilizing the program, depends on the different structure you are utilizing the program. Accordingly, memory has to be allocated, and that is nothing but the second issue in case of the code generation phase, that is the memory management. That is nothing but what, how the code generation phase do the memory management to the different variables functions structure which is present in the source code of the program. Okay, so that is the, that thing has to be keep in mind while designing the code generation phase by the system programmer. Okay, so that the proper memory management can be done by the target code generation phase or the code generation phase. Okay, then next we have the next important issue in the code generation, that is the instruction selection. Now, as you know, what kind of input received by the code generation phase? Input received in the form of some intermediate code instruction. Okay. For each of these intermediate code instruction, machine code is generated by the code generation phase. That is the last phase of compile. Okay. Now, for particular one instruction, there might be a different, for particular one intermediate code instruction, there can be a different machine code instruction may be available. More than one machine code instruction may be available. Understood? So out of these, the target code generation phase has to do the selection, that which instruction, which machine instruction should be selected, so that the efficiency of the program will be improved. Understood? So that is the reason the issue is here, instruction selection. The proper instruction selection for each intermediate code instruction must be done. Okay. So what kind of things has to be considered when the machine instruction has to be selected? So that instruction whichever be selected for the particular intermediate code instruction, that instruction must be complete, it must be uniform, that instruction must be correct. Okay, and if the instruction selection is done by considering this factor, then definitely the machine code that will be get generated, that will be a efficient machine code. Okay, but if the if the if you don't care about the efficiency of the target program, means efficiency of the target program in the sense, if we don't consider about the how much time it will require to execute, how much space it will require, then the selection of the instruction can be done in the straightforward way in the sense, then that time there is no need to think about which instruction is better than other instruction for particular intermediate code instruction. Understood? Means if there is some instruction in the machine code as a machine instruction which can be faster than the other instruction, then definitely the machine code instruction which is faster than other, that definitely will improve the efficiency of the target program. Understood? So so if these things considered, then definitely the target code that will be generated, that will be the efficient target code. And if you don't compare the instruction for each intermediate code, if you don't compare the machine instruction for each intermediate code instruction, and if you do it in the straightforward way without thinking about the which is better than other, then also your target code will be correct, but it may not be a efficient target code or the efficient target program. Okay, so the main thing in case of the third issue in the code generation is what? Selection of the instruction. The proper instruction for each intermediate code has to be selected so that the efficient target code machine code can be generated. Okay. So this is our third issue, that is nothing but selection of the instruction selection of the machine instruction for each intermediate code instruction. What selection of the intermediate selection of the machine instruction or the machine code for each intermediate code. Understood? Because each machine, you know, the machine is having their instruction set. Each machine is having their proper instruction set, and out of that instruction set, for each intermediate code, the instruction has to be selected. And if that selection of the instruction is proper, then definitely our final target program will be a efficient target program. Okay. Then fourth important issue is nothing but the related with the register allocation. Now I hope all of you are know that registers are always faster than the memory. Okay, here I have mentioned use of register make the computation faster in comparison of that memory. Okay, so registers are always considered to be the faster than the memory, but you know the registers are limited. Okay, what registers are limited, and then as the registers are limited, the allocation of register has to be done in the careful manner. Understood? And that is the reason our fourth issue is nothing but the register allocation issues. So how the register can be allocated so that maximum register can be utilized for the particular allocation purpose. Okay. So the use of registers are subdivided into the two important problems. Okay. So one is the during a register allocation. So in that first problem is register allocation and register assignment. So allocation and the assignment. So what happened during the assignment? We select only those variables that will reside in the registers. So during the register allocation, what we select? We select the variables that will place in that register. And during the register assignment, we pick up the specific registers. What we do? We pick up the or we choose the specific register, and in that specific register we assign the variable. Understood? So here register allocation is nothing but choosing the variable first and allocating it to the register. Here in the register assignment, choosing the register first and then assigning it to the variables. Okay. So in this way, the register allocation need to be done, and proper selection, proper utilization of registers need to be done related with the particular machine. So if the proper utilization of register can be done and maximum register if it is being get utilized, then definitely execution speed or the computation speed of our program can be improved. Understood? So this is our fourth issue, that is the register allocation, which can be done with the help of the register allocation and the register assignment, and maximum utilization of register can be done. So how the maximum utilization of register can be done, that thing is get sorted out in the fourth issue, that is the register allocation issue. Okay. Then next issue in the code generation is the evaluation order. What evaluation order? Now the main another task which is done by the code generation phase is nothing but it decide the order in which the instruction will be executed. Now your program is having the large number of instruction. Okay, large number of instruction. Now in which order this instruction should be executed? Okay, from the top side, from the bottom side, from the middle side. So in which order this instruction will be executed? Out of this number of instruction, which instruction should be executed first? That is nothing but the issue of evaluation order. So that also need to be decided by the code generation phase. Understood? Because the order of the computation or order of the execution of that particular instruction also affect on the efficiency of the target code. Understood? So in which order instruction will be executed, that also depend, that also affect the particular, what you can say, the efficiency of the compiler. Okay. So there may be a different computation order or the evaluation order may be possible. Okay. If you utilize some one evaluation order, using that you may not get the result faster, but if you utilize the another evaluation order, you may get the result faster. So that particular decided, that particular what you can say, that particular thinking on this particular issue has to be done by the last phase of compiler, that is the target code generation phase. And uh, then the target code generation phase has to decide in which order the instruction should get executed, so that the program can get executed, the program can get executed faster. Understood? So different evaluation orders can be checked by the compiler and the last phase of compiler, and accordingly the particular order can be get selected, and that evaluation order may be get choose to do the evaluation or to do the computation of the instruction in order to get the result faster, execution result faster. Okay. So in this case, generally the in which order the intermediate code is being generated. Okay, which the particular order in which the intermediate code is generated, the same order is being followed by the target code generation phase also. Understood what I'm saying? If the particular order which is being there when the intermediate code generation is done, the same order can be followed by the target code generation phase. For what purpose? For the computation purpose or for the execution purpose. Understood? So this is a common approach. The common approach is what? Whatever the order which is followed by the intermediate code generation phase, the same order can be followed by the target code generation phase for the purpose of computation of certain instruction. Okay. So this is our fifth phase, where the decision is being taken related with the in which order the instruction should get executed. Okay. And generally the common approach utilized to decide the order is what? The same order which is being there when the intermediate code is being generated. Okay. So this is the our fifth issue in case of the issues in the code generation. Okay. And then we have the last issue in the code generation, that is the target program generation. Okay. So here you will have the target program as a output of our target code generation phase, or output of our last phase of compiler will be what? Target program. So here I have mentioned the target program is the output of the code generator phase. Okay. Now output can be generated in the different form. Okay. Like the output may be a absolute machine language code. The output may be a relocatable machine language code, or the output may be in the form of the assembly language code. Okay. So let's consider if the output is in the absolute machine language code, means what? So here I have mentioned, if the output is in the absolute machine language code format, then advantage of that is what? That particular machine language code can be placed in the fixed memory location and can be immediately executed. Okay. So as I said, the output generated by this target code generation phase can be in this different form. It may be in the absolute machine language code, it may be a relocated machine language code, it may be a assembly language. So if it is absolute machine language code, absolute in the sense it can be placed in the fixed memory location and it can be immediately executed. Okay. So if your machine language code is in the absolute machine language form, then it can be a place in the fixed memory location and then it can be executed from that. Okay. But if your output as a machine code is in the form of relocatable machine language code, what? Relocatable machine language code. So if this is a machine language code is generated, then related with the relocatable machine language code form, as it is a name here, you can see it is a relocatable machine language code. You can change the memory location as per the availability of the memory location, and you can execute the particular machine language code from the different memory location, because it is what? It is relocatable, means you can change the memory location of that particular machine language code, where in case of the absolute machine language code, you cannot change the memory location of that machine language code. You have to execute it from the fixed memory location. But if the machine language code which is generated is the relocatable machine language code, then you can change its memory location and you can execute from the particular available memory location. Okay. And if the particular target code which is generated is assembly language, If the target code which is generated is the assembly language, then again it has to be converted into the binary form by the assembler. Okay. So here the input which we have given, that is in the form of the higher level language. For example, C language, in C language program you are doing and you have compiled it. So here, if you get the assembly language code, if you get the assembly language code as an output, then assembly language code is also considered as a machine code as compared with this high level language code. If this is your higher level language code, then this assembly language code which is generated here is considered as a low level language code. Understood? So this is the issue in the last, this is the last issue in the code generation, that is the what kind of target program may be generated by the target code generation phase. And what kind of machine code can be generated? It can be absolute machine language code. If it is absolute machine language code, it has to be executed from the fixed memory location. If it is a relocatable machine language code, then it can be executed from the particular available memory location. If it is the assembly language code, then it has again need to be converted into the binary form. Okay. So here we are taking the example. Now these different issues uh, has to be taken care by the system programmer when he is designing the last phase of compiler, that is the target code generation. So here you can see uh, 6 different issue in the code generation phase we have discussed. That is the input to the code generator, means what kind of input should be given to the target code generation phase. It should be error free, it should be in the form of intermediate code, etc. Then second issue we have discussed related with the target code generation phase, that is nothing but the related to the memory management. How the memory can be allocated to the different symbols by utilizing the symbol table. How the memory can be allocated to the different kind of variables like the local variables, global variables, etc. etc. That is our second issue in the code generation. Third issue is nothing but the selection of the instruction. For each intermediate code instruction, which machine code instruction will be selected, and how this selection should be done so that efficient target program can be done. So third issue is related with the selection of the machine instruction for each intermediate code instruction. Then fourth issue we have seen regarding the register allocation, how the register can be utilized so that your computation can be faster. As you know, registers are faster than the memory. Okay. So in that register allocation and the register assignment can be done, where in the register allocation, the first we choose the variable to put in that register, where in the register assignment, the choice of register is done first and then the variable get selected. Then fifth issue we have seen, which order of the execution of instruction must be selected. Means here the code generation phase has to decide the order in which the instruction should be get executed. That is the evaluation order. And generally, which order get prefer? The order which is utilized during the intermediate code generation. Okay. And last issue we have seen, what kind of target program will be get generated by the target code generation phase. Okay. And lastly, we are going to discuss about this particular what you can see the example. Now, as I said, what kind of input is given to the target code generation phase? The input which is given to the target code generation phase, that is nothing but the intermediate. Okay, this is our intermediate code. Now if you see this intermediate code, now this intermediate code is unoptimized. This intermediate code is all is what unoptimized. So this is nothing but the output of our fourth phase of compiler. Output of our fourth phase of compiler. Which is the fourth phase of our compiler? Intermediate code generation. Okay. And in the fifth phase of compiler, what you will do? We will do the optimization, code optimization. And that is the reason here you can see this is the optimized intermediate code. That is nothing but what? The output of our fifth phase of compiler. Understood? So this is also the intermediate code and this is also the intermediate code. But this is the optimized intermediate code that is given as a input to our last phase of compiler. What is our last phase of compiler that today we are discussing? The code generation phase, the target code generation phase. So to the target code generation phase, we will give the input as a optimized intermediate code. This optimized intermediate code will give the input to the our last phase of compiler. And then you can see here the following assembly code is generated for optimized code in code generation phase. So here we have taken the example of this is the machine code will be get generated. Assembly code as a machine code we are uh, considering here. Okay, because this is the low level language code as compared to our C language code. Understood? Again, this has to be converted into the binary form. Okay, that will be done by the assembler. But just for the understanding purpose, for this intermediate code, we are considering this as a machine language code. Okay, so that you can understand the how the instruction will be selected, etc. So as I said, for now how for this intermediate code, how for this intermediate code, the machine language code in the form of assembly code will be generated. So for this intermediate code, this is the assembly language code as a machine code will be get generated. Okay. So here what you can see the first instruction, this is the machine instruction, assembly language machine instruction, move R1 ID3 means first we are moving the ID3. So this particular now, you know, if you need to remember for this example, x is equal to a plus b into 50.0, this into 50, sorry, into 50. This is our original example, and this original example we have processed in the lexical analysis, syntax analysis, semantic analysis, intermediate code generation, and also we have done the processing on these in the optimized code. And when you do the when we do the code optimization on these things, this is the optimized intermediate code we have got for this instruction. Okay, for this expression. And then we are converting this particular optimized intermediate code into the machine code as a assembly code. So here, first we move the ID3 into the register. As you know, you need to move the things into the register before you do the processing on that. Then you are doing the multiplication of that. That's why mul R1 into 50.0 means whatever the content is there in the R1, you need to multiply it with the 50.0. So we have done this instruction. Then next move R2 comma ID2 means move the ID2. What is our ID2? ID2 is the A. Okay, ID3 was B. Okay, so move A into the R2, then add R1 and the R2 means for this instruction machine code machine instruction is this: add R1 and R2 means add the content of R1 and the R2. Now what was there in the R1? R1 was containing the first instruction, and R2 is nothing but our this sorry, R2, add R1 and the R2. Okay, R1 is containing the R1 is containing our result of this multiplication. Okay, and R2 is containing what? ID2. R2 is containing what? ID2 means your A. Okay, so then you are adding R1 and R2, that is nothing but the A plus B into 50, because R1 containing what? B into 50, and R2 containing what? A. So then you are doing the addition of these R1 and R2 and moving the result will be in the where? In the R1. Okay, and lastly you are moving that result of the content of R1 into the ID1 means you are putting the result into the our variable X, that is considered as a ID1. Our variable X is what? ID1. So in this way you can see how the machine instruction will be get selected. Here you can see how the registers are being get utilized as an example I have shown you here, and how the machine code will be generated in the form of the assembly code for these kind of intermediate code. Okay, and again this assembly language code is converted to the binary form by our assembler. Understood? So that we need to, that for that we need to we don't have to bother about this last point. If you understood up to this point only, then also it is very much sufficient. Understood? So this is our journey, from first phase of compiler to the last phase. So you can see as an input we have think about this expression: x is equal to a plus b into 50.0. This x is equal to a plus b into 50. This expression we have considered as a source code. As a one example we are just taking. Okay, but for the whole source code, this all the processing is being get done that we have seen in each phase of compiler. For your understanding purpose, we have just taken this just as an example. Okay. Now this expression is given to the lexical analyzer, then lexical analyzer generate the token out of it, token like the which are the identifier, which are the keywords, which are the operators, which are the constant. That all the recognition of token is done by first phase of compiler for this expression, and this is done for the whole contents of the program. Out of this whole content of the program, we have just taken example as a single expression for your understanding purpose. Then lexical analyzer give that token to the syntax analyzer. Then syntax analyzer will check whether this expression is syntactically correct or not. Then how it check by generating the parse tree. Then syntax analyzer generate the parse tree for this expression, give that parse tree to the semantic analyzer. Then semantic analyzer check whether this expression is meaningful or not. And if it is find it is not meaningful, as x is a float, a is a float, b is a float, 50 is integer, so it is not finding it meaningful. So semantic analyzer will do what? Convert the 50 into the 50.0, means it do the type checking. If it don't find the type compatible, if it is don't find that expression is type compatible, then it convert into the type compatible expression by converting the 50 into the 50.0. Accordingly, it does it for the whole programs for the all the instruction which is present in the program. Then semantic analyzer generate the annotated parse tree and give it to the next phase, that is the intermediate code generator. And we have seen how the intermediate code is generated for this expression in the form of the 3 address code. Then this phase give that intermediate code as a 3 address code as an input to the next phase, that is the machine independent code optimization. Then code optimization is done on that intermediate code, and optimized code will be generated by doing some changes. And then code generator finally generate the machine code in the form of the assembly code, or in the form of the absolute machine language code, or in the form of the relocatable machine code. Here we are considering the code generation phase generating the assembly language code as a machine code. And here we have finished our all the 6 phases of compiler, where we have seen how the compiler will process your source language code, which is in the higher level language, into the lower level language code. I hope all of you understood all the 6 phases of compiler. If you have any doubt, you can mention that doubts in the comment section. I will definitely answer all of your doubts. Okay. Now in the next lecture, we are going to see about the 2 different tools which is being utilized for the purpose of designing of the compiler. Okay. So you just go through all the lectures of the phases of compiler and see if you are having any doubt. Till then, I thank all of you, and I wish all of you are taking the care, and I wish all of you the good health. Okay, thank you all of you.